the majority of the code that we write on this course is going to be run on a simulator, or at least be able to be run on a simulator. Occasionally, we're going to have code that we need to run on a device. For example, when we sort of want to use the camera on a device, or we want to mess around with the battery and things like that. But for the most part, we'll stick with a simulator. Xcode 8 should come with iOS 10 simulators installed, and you can check that by opening it up, going to Window, Devices, and you get a whole list on the left-hand side of what you have installed. Now, if you want to add a different simulator, click the plus icon at the bottom, Add Simulator, and it will give you a nice drop-down of which kind of device you want to add, so iPhones, iPads, etc. You can also choose the iOS version. Now, if you want to download more, simply select that option, and you have the whole back catalogue of iOS simulators. I believe with some effort you can also get iOS 7 simulators, but at this point in time it's not really worth coding for iOS 7. Perhaps not even 8. Most devices run on 9, and by the time 10 is officially released, you'll have the rest of the devices running on 10. So that is basically how you set up your simulators. They should already be there, but if they're not, hit the plus icon and add them. There's a great feature available inside of Xcode, and it's called a playground. A playground lets you experiment with lots of code in Swift or Objective-C, and it's a great way to understand what's going on with your Swift code because you don't have the overhead of compiling the code so it runs on a device or simulator. With Xcode open, you should be presented with a screen that gives you a few options. The first option is to get started with a playground. If you can't see that, simply go up to the menu, File, New, and you can open up a playground from there. And this will ask you to name your playground and give it a platform. Obviously, this is an iOS course, so let's give it an iOS platform and call it My Playground. It doesn't really matter where you put it. Our playground comes furnished with 2 commands already. The first of which is this import UI kit. UI kit, as you imagine, takes care of the user interface elements of our app. And it's a way for us to access the internal workings of all of the classes that Swift provides us with. Then we have another line, which is simply the declaration of a string called Hello Playground. So this middle section is where your code sits. Over on the right-hand side, there's a light grey bar, and if I just drag it out a little, you'll notice it has some text on there. It has Hello Playground, and it's simply repeating to us what our string is. On the right-hand side of that text, we have an I, so we can hit Quick Look, and it gives us a more complete picture of it, in case that text was very long. And we have a little plus icon, which is Show Result underneath, and we can get rid of that. So expand that right-hand pane because it's going to come in very handy for the rest of this module.